welcome back to Slender Gaming 1. This is your host, Slender Bros here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we got a special one for you. Today, we are going to be doing a review on Space Marine 2, a game that, honestly, for me, I'm starting to feel like this could be Game of the Year, at least in my books. I say this is as close to a 10 out of 10 of a game you can get. I mean, with some caveats, and we'll talk about them in a little bit here. But yeah, I'm really loving it so far. I played all through early access, got about 30 hours. Now I'm playing the campaigns over again with some of my friends. Absolutely having just a ball with the game. It's a great time. I definitely, before anything gets said in this review, I recommend you go play it. And I recommend you go play the first one. You know, this is a good series as a whole. You can tell they put a lot of care into the world that they've crafted here, a lot of care into the missions and the characters and the story. And I just think overall it's very good. But this isn't going to be a super deep dive look into the game. This is going to be as spoiler free as possible, just because that's how highly I recommend y'all play the game. And that's how highly I recommend y'all play the campaign and the story. So I'm going to do this very, very top layer, not the super deep dive review, because you guys don't need the super deep dive review. At least from me, because I recommend you play it so highly, because it's that good of a game. If you are looking for a super deep dive review, I can't recommend a Angry Joe show enough. I'm so excited to see what they come up with and when they come out with the review, which typically will take them a little bit of time, but the production value and the absolute amazing folks over at Angry Joe Show are going to make just something I always enjoy watching. So if you want a super deep dive review, I'm sure they're going to come out with like something at least an hour long for this game. Go head over to their channel when that comes out and watch it, and watch some of their other stuff. Absolutely fantastic channel. Now, shifting our focus back to the game here. Let's talk about just the gameplay, okay? Whether you're playing the PvE or the PvP modes, this is honestly delivering a fun, well-crafted experience, at least in my opinion. The PvE is definitely adrenaline pumping, and it's definitely a challenge. And you're getting swarmed by waves and waves of enemies, and the difficulty really keeps you on your toes. It's balanced in a way that makes you feel like every victory is earned. And on the other hand, there you've got that PvP mode, which is fast-paced, pretty tactical, and honestly rewarding. At the moment, there's only 3 different game types in there, although I know more is coming. And that's something we'll talk about here in a minute, too, with the roadmap they have for the game, which looks honestly pretty promising. I'm really excited. But you can definitely feel the difference in how each faction between Chaos Marines and then not Chaos Marines, just regular Space Marines, play. Every different class has its own different abilities in PvP and PvE, and it's pretty well balanced. I really enjoy it, and it definitely requires a lot of teamwork in the PvP. It's definitely more focused on that unit cohesion, which does allow for very fun group firefights. I went to this thinking PvP would not be my jam with this game, but honestly, it's a good time. It's a fun time. You get in your squad of 3, you get 2 friends, you matchmake. It's teams of 6v6, so that is one gripe out the gate I've got with the game. I understand the squads of 3 for the campaign, and I understand the squads of 3 for the operations, but honestly, I'm not a super big fan of only being allowed to queue up with 3 when in PvP it's 6v6. That said, I understand why they did it, just to make everything kind of uniform across the game, so that's fine. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the campaign. Let's just dive right into the campaign. Without giving too much spoilers and not going super deep in depth on the campaign, it's well written. Definitely keeps you invested from start to finish on this one. The narrative does capture that grim, dark future very well. And like I said earlier, you can definitely tell they love this game. You can definitely tell they put a lot of time and work into crafting a beautiful environment, beautiful game. The gameplay itself, so nice. I mean, I haven't played a game like this in forever, and they do a really great job with it. It was so refreshing to be in this environment that they've built, and you can tell it was so handcrafted with love and care for the series, which a lot of people have for Warhammer, and I absolutely love it. I think Warhammer fans are going to definitely appreciate this a lot. They did such a good job. And then, of course, the campaign missions and the storyline plays perfectly from the previous game. It ties into the lore, makes it a must-play for any fan of the series. Absolutely. It's a perfect sequel to the first game, in my opinion, which I highly recommend checking out that game as well, even after all these years. The story continues from those prior events in such a natural and awesome way. I definitely recommend it. So the addition of operations also in this. There's six currently in the game. I think there's six. I might be wrong. Yeah, there's six currently in the game. The addition of operations definitely helps elevate that storytelling, though, in a much more unique way. I mean, these are essentially bonus missions that add even more depth to the world and the characters. These missions have you play as other Space Marine teams with a bunch of different classes, similar to the PvP ones. That do a bunch of unique and powerful abilities, but it's still very well balanced. Definitely got to work together with your two teammates. It will be two different classes, and yeah, very nice. And there's a lot of enemies to kill. It's super cinematic, very beautiful, very worth checking out those operations with the campaign missions. And also, a very unique way they did this is these missions parallel and drive forward that main campaign. So the entire time you're doing the main story, you unlock these operations. You do the operations in multiplayer or by yourself offline if you choose. And it drives forward that story because you're playing as Space Marines parallel to the main group of Space Marines, driving the same kind of objectives forward and doing side objectives. And it's very well done. Very good cohesive story, very well written. Makes you care about almost every character here. I love it. It's very integral to the plot, so they're very clever, engaging. Honestly, a great way to extend your time within this game, especially if you're someone who likes to deep dive into the lore. There's a lot of data slates and stuff for you to go find. Now, I will say the missions are a little linear, but there's definitely some side areas to go find things, collectibles, to help you kind of get more collectibles for like level ups, perks, customization, which we'll talk about here in a second, which is also super duper in depth. I actually love the customization in this game. I think they did that really, really well. So we'll go ahead and move on to that. Actually, we'll talk about the customization right now. You can customize your Astartes, your Primaris Astartes, which is your Space Marine, with a whole bunch of different customization options. There's honestly, I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of different chapters that you can play through the game, earn in-game credits, and unlock parts of the chapters until you've unlocked that entire chapter's kind of uniform. But you can also take all those things you've unlocked, mix and match, make your own custom Astartes, and it looks freaking badass. It's really sick. You'll see I have a couple different ones. You'll see those in the footage I've got on the screen for you now. They're just really cool. You know, I love it. And I think they did a really good job. They did a really balanced job, kind of making it look beautiful. And you're customized. It makes you feel unique, badass. You can role play. They're missing a couple chapters, of course, that are out there in the lore, but I think some of them will come later on as we go through the season passes and through the roadmap of the game, which covers a whole year, a whole calendar year from when the game's released. New enemy types are coming. We've seen that. We've seen new faction types are coming as far as like chapters for the Astartes. We got new missions coming. They're going to continue the campaign without me spoiling it. There's more of that coming. So I'm definitely extremely excited for the longevity and the life of this game. I think they're going to do a fantastic job. It's only up from here, although it's pretty hard to go up from when you've already got something amazing. And that's what they've got. They've got something amazing. It delivers in every area you'd want from a modern action game. It's tight. The gameplay is tight. The story is engaging. And the extra content through operations adds a whole new level of replayability on different difficulties and such, and with your friends. It's an absolute blast, honestly, from start to finish. And even till after finish, it's a clear contender for Game of the Year, 100%. In my opinion, I understand. It's just my opinion, but Game of the Year to me. And honestly, if you're a fan of the Warhammer 40k universe, must play, absolutely. And even if you're not, I almost would recommend this as a must-play third-person action game, 100%. It's just so well done. I don't see why you wouldn't play this game, why you would want not to play this game. It's so well done. And it's so beautiful, and you can just really see this is the product of what you get when the developers care and they take their time and they put their love into this game and love into this franchise and this series. This is what you get. You get something so good. And this is so good. It's thrilling. It's polished. Absolutely. Like I said, it's a must play. So yeah, that is my very short light overview, not too in depth, just to kind of avoid spoilers so you all can play this on your own. Um, like I said, if you want a more in depth review, when Angry Joe Show releases theirs, absolutely go watch that. They're my go to for the in depth reviews. They're a fantastic channel over there. Much props to those guys. They've been doing it forever, and they've been doing it right. That said, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I will have some more Warhammer content coming out, as well as Space Marine 2 content coming out, and we'll see what else. I might have something else in the works, although I'm trying to get what I can on YouTube done, while also juggling my regular job and work. So as far as a channel update goes for you guys, just kind of making sure I do the work that I've got to do in my real life and then come here and do this, which I love. So I'm trying to keep it balanced for y'all. So you may not see things weekly, although I try to get things out at least every couple months. But this was something I definitely had to do. I felt like I had to go over this because it's so good. I haven't played a game this good in a long time, especially in the most recent years. We've had a lot of bad. So this is definitely game of the year for me. Thanks y'all for coming. Yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Bye.